In this video, we're going to talk about the core wireless security protocols. So again, you have your central authentication server that's going to verify the credentials of a supplicant that is connected through your Ethernet switch to an access point, which is going to serve as the authenticator. Then you're going to have your device connect to the authenticator via WPA3, WPA2, WPA, or WEP. Now, it's strongly discouraged to use WEP and WPA. WPA2 is still common, but is starting to become less and less encouraged for various reasons we'll talk about in a minute. But WPA3 is the newest standard that was released in 2018. So the extent of the core wireless security protocols are going to cover your communication between the device and the access point. It does not provide any protection after connecting to the access point. So the first wireless security protocol is WEP. It uses shared keys, which are strongly discouraged because it's like your home. If someone gets a hold of that key, all they need to do is copy it, and then they have access to your home with the shared key. There's no automatic rekeying, and it's been shown to be cracked in 2 to 3 minutes, and for this reason should no longer be used. WPA reduces the leakage of WEP. It uses TKIP as its keying. The problem with this is that it has partially been cracked, and so we need to move on to the next one. The next core wireless security protocol is WPA2, which uses pre-shared carrying or personal mode, and it's vulnerable to offline attacks. So someone is able to initiate that connection with your WPA2 router and capture that initial communication. And then what they can do is take that information offline and run dictionary attacks against your communication until it's able to discover your password. Although I'm not advocating for this, I had a friend who bought some computing power off of Amazon Web Services and used it to run this dictionary attack to be able to gain access to his neighbor's Wi-Fi network. So what we're moving towards is WPA3. A lot of access points are still yet to install WPA3, but it's already started to gain traction and more of a market share. And more routers are being implemented with WPA3. If your router does have access to WPA3, you should enable it. A lot of modern devices allow for WPA3 connection as well. So what this does is it allows for the simultaneous authentication of equals, which we'll talk about in a minute. Also, it forwards secrecy. So if someone was able to connect to your network, they would not be able to see anything that was communicated on this network previously, as once you are authenticated, you only have access to that point forward. So with WPA and WPA2, they use pre-shared keying, which worked like this. You had a device that had a shared key that would send this shared key to the access point. The access point would verify this and send a session key back to the communicator. And they would then be able to use this subsequent shared key to be able to communicate. The recommended minimum length passphrase for this is 20 characters because having an insecure password makes it a lot easier to break with a dictionary attack. So WPA3 has resistance to these offline dictionary attacks, and for this reason should be used. It uses the simultaneous authentication of equals, which is built on the Diffie-Hellman exchange with authentication added. It is also known as the Dragonfly key. So you have both devices that have their private channel, and they're going to agree to some public parameters to communicate over. These are simplified numbers for the sake of you being able to understand. Then each device is going to create their own secret key. So A and B, as you see here. The computer in private channel A is going to combine their secret key A with the public parameters P and G. And then they're going to make up a new A, which is a capital A here, which is going to be equal to G raised to the A mod P. So 5 raised to the 4 mod 23, which equals 4. B is going to do the same thing, combine their secret key B with the public parameters. And they're going to do G raised to the B mod P, so 5 raised to 3 mod 23 is going to give them 10. B is going to share their key with A, and A is going to attach their secret key to the shared key. So they're going to do a calculation of B, which is that shared key, raised to the A, which is their secret key, mod P. So 10 raised to the power of 4 mod 23 gives the key of 18. This now becomes the session key because B is going to do the same thing. They're going to attach their secret key to A's shared key. So A raised to the B mod P, so 4 raised to 3 mod 23, and it's going to end up with 18, which is now the session key. So both devices now have a shared secret, this session key, that they're going to use for subsequent communication. As you can see here, a breakdown of each one of these core wireless security protocols. I have already covered the key mode, but you'll notice that with WPA3, it's going to use two 56-bit keys. It is also known to be much stronger than other methods, and for this reason should be used. So using NetSpot, you can see the access points and the signal strength of each of these, as well as core security wireless protocols. So what I want you to do is open NetSpot and look at the scan of the access points in the area and see which ones are closest and what information you can derive from looking at each of these access points. And how could this be useful to your organization? So here's NetSpot. You do not need a license to actually run it, to do a sample of it, but you will not have access to all the features that it has if you were to pay for a license. But you can come up here to the Inspector tab, and it will show you all the wireless networks that are near you on the left here. It will show you also the graph of the signal over time and what channel those networks are on. It will also show the frequency, the channel width, the band, as well as the security protocol that's being used, who is the vendor, etc. You'll also notice the signal here. You're looking for the one with the highest green or the lowest negative signal. These are the negative decibels that indicate how much is lost before it actually reaches your specific computer. So what access points seem to be the closest are the one, again, with the biggest green bar. What information can you derive by looking at the available access points? Well, you can determine if it's using WPA2. You'll notice here we have a WPA3. So this is not very common yet, but as things progress, it'll become more and more commonplace. This might be good for an organization to say, we actually need to upgrade these to be able to use WPA3 instead of WPA2. So another thing you can do is look at the channels. You'll notice here that we have several on 11, 149, and 6. If you change the channel so that it's not the same as others in your vicinity, then you won't have conflict of Wi-Fi signal. So all of this can be very useful to an organization to help manage their Wi-Fi connectivity and ensure that everyone has connectivity without conflicts among the access points. Thanks for watching my video. Feel free to click the links here to watch the next video of the playlist, continue to the next playlist, or subscribe.